Okay, we're here today because in late 2020, the FBI, along with the Charleston Police Department, ATF, MDENT, and other federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies began investigating a drug trafficking organization operating primarily between Charleston and Rand, and also St. Albans, that was eventually credited with distributing in excess of 160 pounds of methamphetamine, along with fentanyl and other drugs. The conspirators operating in the St. Albans area primarily obtained their drugs from Louisville, Kentucky, and the Charleston Rand area was supplied by Raymond Alston from Atlanta, Georgia, and other dealers from Columbus, Ohio. As a result of this investigation and prosecution, there remains no individuals in the Southern District of West Virginia with ties to any of these suppliers. This investigation also was able to stop a plan by 4 of the defendants to murder an individual on Charleston's west side on July 4th, 2021. And also, it prevented a fatal drug overdose in St. Albans due to the intervention of law enforcement officers. Today, Leo Smith, 38, of Cross Lanes, was sentenced to 11 years and 8 months in prison to be followed by 3 years of supervised release for conspiracy to distribute a quantity of methamphetamine. These conspirators threatened our communities with their poison as well as gun violence. The amount of methamphetamines trafficked from Kentucky, Georgia, and Ohio is staggering. This investigation and prosecution wiped out all the connections between the conspiracy suppliers and the Southern District of West Virginia. I have here behind me today Special Agent Sean Morrow, the Louisville Field Division for Special Agent in Charge, Sean Morrow, for Louisville Field Division for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, which oversees the West Virginia. ATF Resident Agent in Charge, David Bullard. Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Tony Rousa, the FBI. Chief Tyke Hunt of the Charleston Police Department. Deputy U.S. Marshals Mark Wagaman and Mark Loretta. Chief Deputy Joe Crawford of the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office, who also works with our MDENT program. Jason Webb, commander of the Metropolitan Drug Enforcement Network, known as MDENT, as well as Assistant U.S. Attorney Josh Hanks. I'd now like to introduce Sean Morrow for a quote.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Morrow. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the ATF offices in West Virginia. This investigation demonstrates true partnership between local, state, and federal agencies. These agencies worked hard to identify and dismantle an armed drug trafficking organization operating in our communities. I want to specifically thank the FBI Charleston office for their leadership and hard work in the investigation. Too often, Charleston and surrounding communities feel the impact of illegal drug distribution and violence associated with it. I hope the message is clear today. ATF, the FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will not let drug dealers take hold of our neighborhoods. We're committed to making our communities safe and to holding criminals accountable for violence and drug trafficking that destroys our families. With this drug trafficking organization dismantled and 39 firearms seized, the collective prison sentences for these defendants will have a lasting impact on West Virginia and will help to keep our communities safe from dangerous drugs. Working together with the communities, we are making a difference. Before wrapping up, I'd like to take a minute to thank U.S. Attorney Will Thompson and his prosecution team, and to commend them for leading a successful investigation and prosecution effort with multiple law enforcement agencies involved. Together with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the West Virginia law enforcement community, ATF remains committed to curbing violent crime, keeping firearms out of the hands of criminal organizations, and to keeping West Virginia safe.
I would now like to introduce Chief Tyke Hunt of the Charleston Police Department.
You heard in United States Attorney Will Thompson's remarks that it's folks from out of town that are working in conjunction network with the different cities. So it's through their communication they are trying to prey on the citizens of Charleston, citizens of South Charleston, Kanawha County, and all throughout. So it only makes sense for us to enhance our communications and network teams. The great folks standing here today have made that happen, and we're able to bring justice to the folks here in the city of Charleston, we were able to prevent a homicide from this and save multiple lives. And that's only because we have come together, and together it's not just four, it is a force multiplier of each and every one of our agencies. So we're able to get out here and take our streets back. This all started through tips that came from our community members. So you step up, you bring it to our attention, you say this is not going to happen in our city. Your law enforcement officers hear that cry. We begin to see what we can do and recognize that this is coming from out of state, that we need some more jurisdictional powers, we need additional tools and resources. And there's where you see the ATF, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, Kanawha County Sheriff's Office, all of us come together to put these folks behind bars. These are criminal predators. These are the most dangerous of the dangerous. Not only is what they are selling have the potential to kill you with less than a gram, but they're also using guns to intimidate and hurt other people while they do it. So I'm happy to see that these criminals are behind bars, and I want this to stand as an example to all of those out there that think they're going to come to our cities and commit crime. We will catch you, and you will be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Hunt. I want to give a couple more details on this. The investigation culminated in a seizure of more than 12 pounds of methamphetamine, approximately 34 firearms, more than $86,000 in cash, several vehicles, including 3 motorcycles and a Dodge Charger. All 17 individuals indicted on this investigation have been convicted. I would like to talk just a little bit about some of the things this did prevent. There was what was a near-fatal drug overdose in St. Albans that through the efforts of law enforcement, the person was able to be saved. There were several violent incidents. I want to highlight the 4th of July plot and that incident. 4 of the defendants, Burks, Terry, Bennett, and Wesley, all armed themselves and ran and drove to Charleston to commit a drive-by shooting murder. Alerted to the plot, police in marked cruisers converged on the area. The 4 men then abandoned their vehicle in a Lee Street parking lot. Federal agents later searched this vehicle and recovered 4 loaded firearms, a Spikes Tactical Model SL-15 .223 caliber pistol, a Model FSN-9 9mm pistol, a Taurus 9mm pistol, and a 6 Sauer .40 caliber pistol. The success of this investigation is a testament of the outstanding work and effective coordination of all the law enforcement involved. I also would like to commend Assistant U.S. Attorney Josh Hanks and Alex Hamner for securing convictions against all defendants, including there was trials where 3 of the defendants were found guilty of all counts against them. I'd like to highlight a couple of the individual defendants. Timothy Dodd was sentenced to 21 years and 7 months in prison by Judge Goodwin. Shane Kelly Ferguson was sentenced to 19 years and 7 months, also by Judge Goodwin. Remain David Austin was sentenced to 12 years and 6 months by Judge Goodwin. James Edward Bennett was sentenced to 10 years, also by Judge Goodwin. James Robert Oxley also received a sentence of 10 years, as did Brian D'Angelo Terry, as well as Douglas Jonathan Wesley, who was convicted in a jury trial. All of those were sentenced by Judge Goodwin. There's some notable events in this. The arrest of Shane Fulkerson, I want to highlight the Putnam County Sheriff's Department, because on August 11th, 2021, following a high-speed motorcycle chase, Fulkerson was apprehended. He had 95 grams of meth, a loaded firearm, and over $71,000 of cash in a backpack. There was a later search warrant done at his St. Albans residence where there was more than 8 pounds of meth found, along with 22 firearms. I do want to stress one thing, and Chief Hunt hinted at this. This case shows the importance of all the law enforcement agencies working together and all the agencies that contribute officers to MDENT, and I want to give them a shout out. It includes the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office and the Charleston, Nitro, South Charleston, and St. Albans Police Departments, The facts that these agencies are able to contribute task force officers to these task forces and other agencies throughout the state and other task forces is what let us be a force multiplier and do this type of work. So I want to give a big shout out to those agencies who are doing this even though they're facing their own significant staffing shortages. I want to end on a note that we give titles to these investigation, and this was titled Decon Affliction, and it comes from two reasons. One is because there's a term in law enforcement known as deconfliction, which is basically to make sure the law enforcement agencies aren't stepping on one another's toes. And also by the fact that a lot of drug task force officers for some reason want to wear the Affliction brand shirts. I see a lot of them in my office. That being said, are there any questions? All right. There is a copy of a press release that has some more details available, and thank you for coming out.